I grew up in this area, and my grandfather was in this area at the time, and he owned a farm here in area that we've got now as Meadowlands. Along about 1990, after being in the construction and paving business for 30 years, I got interested in the golf industry. I saw what was going on around me, so I started planning toward making arrangements for a golf course. Property at Meadowlands became available through a bankruptcy, and I started buying up some of the property. The first piece of property I bought was a farm that my grandfather had owned since 1921, and so I bought that. I then started buying up land around it, and eventually accumulated 380 acres, which was enough to start planning the golf course. So in '95, I started actual construction on the golf course and worked for 2 years, almost every day on the site to construct and develop the golf course now we call Meadowlands. I did most of the construction myself with my own equipment, which I had owned for many years through the heavy construction company. And I spent close to 2 years out here almost every day myself, watching what was going on and making sure we were getting the work done right. We had the golf course to the point of grassing after about a year and 4 months. And we lacked 3.5 fairways having it grassed when a hurricane came through. And that hurricane caused the thing to get so wet we couldn't dry back off quick enough before cold weather, because we were in September with it. And it stayed so wet we never got the grass over those 3.5 fairways, so we had to delay it till the following spring to finish grassing. So that cost me a whole spring season of play that I could have had if I'd have got the other 3.5 fairways in before the flood came. But that's the odds you're taking when you get one and have the schedule that you have to construct and plant your grass. Willard Bird was an old architect that had been around for a lot of years. He had designed over 100 golf courses, and he was well known in this area. As a matter of fact, he was more well known through this area than any other architect that I knew anything about. So I hired him to do the design work. I learned more about the golf industry and found that a lot of the design was designed for professional golfers and not the retirees that we were bringing in. And so the thing was pretty difficult for those people that we had playing most of the time, because we didn't have any professionals in this area. That's the reason I had to do some changing and eliminating sand traps and improving a couple of fairways where they had too many hazards on to make it easier for the play. And we have catered to these retirees ever since. The people that we have members now, most of them are retired. We've got roughly 300 members that sticks with us year after year. And the people likes to have it where it's not too difficult for them. When I started building the Meadowlands, the golf industry was in very good shape. The Myrtle Beach area was drawing a lot of golf play in from the northeast. The prices were high, and the golf courses were making good returns on their investment. The golf courses would pay for themselves in 4 or 5 years. A lot of them would, and gradually the golf industry got where it was not as prosperous. In the time we got to, well, we did actually good here. We actually increased, since we were in a location that was fairly rural at the time, and we had to do some promotion to draw customers in. We increased our play and our profit every year up to '08. We had a very good income during that period of time, but in '08, when the economy tanked, things started going down, and naturally our golf volume in the whole Myrtle Beach area started dropping about 10% per year, and the prices decreased along with it, which meant it eliminated a lot of the profit that people have been making in golf courses. And of course the industry, anybody that's familiar with the industry in Myrtle Beach knows it's been fairly tight operation since then. Even though we have been lucky enough to get by through these years, I was not like a lot of people where we were having to carry a debt load to pay through the slow periods. We had some things that when I opened it up, my number one thing was how we treat the customer. That we wanted to give the customer good for his money, treat him nice, be friendly with him. And my number two thing was to maintain the course to the top of what we were capable of doing to keep it maintained in excellent condition. And we've been able to do that over these last 20 years to where we have got the best maintained courses in the area. We have no problem with maintenance and keeping them in top shape.